corpses. Just bad boy up. Get it to where it's not. I'm not too far into the picture. Okay, so I know I'm jumping the gun here too quick, but I gotta get this started. I gotta get this finished. I gotta get this out of the way. All right, so I did the ribs. All right, I put some blood on them. I did the pants. I'll just show you what I'm doing. That's all. I have my blood that I made. It's a little cheaper. I didn't want to use the good blood, the theater blood, because it's mainly, my blood goes on real bright red and then it darkens really nice. And I don't want to, well, it's really damp out here. I don't want to change how I'm doing this because, yeah, I don't know, just looks better the way I'm doing it. Glasses I definitely don't need. Now this stuff here is not drying without the assistance of the heat gun. So this blood has been sitting out on my deck all night, and it's still not drying, which is really kind of crazy. And all I'm doing is I'm hitting the big area, the dark area, the deeper the cuts, the lower surface stuff, all the little cracks inside the lower areas. You know, wherever there's a low area, that's where I'm pulling up this blood. And as you can see, it looks pretty bright. It looks pretty bright. And I'm going to definitely go around the edges just to get that brightness off of it. Because this dries, that's the blood right here. It dries very dark. So it almost gives it that darker brown look, which is perfect for what I'm trying to do. Because it's supposed to look like rotten flesh, and it just adds another dimension, another layer to the blood. And I like it that way. And I have the phone on charge too, so that's helping. Hold on. I'm thinking out loud while I'm doing this. Just trying to hit the areas, not all of it, just some of it. It looks very scabby. So I'm contemplating on talking about my trip to Florida that night. That was completely uneventful. A little embarrassing because I got sucked into it. And I honestly don't think it was legit. Company that was trying to, it was just shady. They had me meet them somewhere, you know, they so-called meet them someplace. And when I got there, nobody knew nothing of this place where I was supposed to meet them. So it was kind of weird, and I thought, okay, I've been had, and it's embarrassing. But they didn't get nothing, so it's almost like, what was the point? The one bonus thing was, it forced me to go down there because I had to go see a friend of mine anyway that lives like 20 miles from where I was supposed to meet these people, maybe even 30 miles. So when I got down there, I gave him a call. He was like, yeah, I'll come get you. And I explained to him what happened. And I think they were literally trying to get a lot more information either on my business or my personal stuff. So it was it's definitely fraudulent. Sorry, I made a big deal about it because I what I did and why I didn't say nothing online, why I didn't say nothing up front is because I scrambled to change everything. I'm even going to change my phone number on my phone. But I changed all my passwords, everything, just in case it was hacking or, you just didn't know what the hell the game was. And let's chalk this up to experience with being possibly a YouTuber. Maybe that was it. I don't know. It was the craziest thing. I never got to the bottom of it. I didn't talk to anybody. The reason why I was kind of embarrassed about it. At the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'll bet a lot of YouTubers out there go through the same thing that I'm just not aware of. It's crazy, but I think that's what people like that target. Now, I could have investigated a little bit better. That's where my downfall was not like checking on the address where they were sending me. Just doing the, I'll be more diligent going forward, that's for sure. Plus, I've been really busy with my other work, trying to get ready for the upcoming season. That's why this kind of put a back burner on even my sculpture. And I'm going to be honest with you, why I'm hesitating so much on that sculpture right now is molding it is because I keep having failures with the stone, and I'm almost afraid to do the mold because I've never had this much problems with the sculpt molding part before. I've never had any problems like this, and I'm not sure whether I can trust the stone that I have. So it's kind of got me like holding on because I do not want to retool that ever again. I really want to just go forward with it. I want to get it done and out of the way, and just work on my. I was trying to get all the versions done in time for Halloween, but this retooling process constantly over and over and over again has really screwed that up. On top of having the molds fail each time, and I'm chalking it up as learning experience, and I'm being honest with you guys. It is what it is, and then having all this other crap that went on, this trip to Florida, and it was fast, it happened fast, but I've been really trying to, move out of Jersey for a while. I have been, the last couple of years, and, but never really put 1,000% of effort into it. But these people reached out to me, God, like 3-4 months ago. That's when it all started. But it came to a head, so to speak. A week and a half ago, whenever the hell it was, I forget. But came to a head, and pretty much turned out to be a bunch of bullshit, is what it was. But what they were after, I still don't know. I still don't know. They weren't going to get it from me. That's for sure. And the reason why I didn't want to say anything right away was one, I was embarrassed. Two, I wanted to make sure I changed all my passwords, everything. I changed everything up so nothing can be hacked at this point. And I'm also going to start using a VPN when I do my stuff. I think that's going to help. Nothing is completely 1,000% protective, but I'm going to do the best I can. And knowing that forward, I do not put credit cards on my computer. I don't do that. The only thing I use is PayPal. PayPal only. And from now on, the other thing I'm never going to do is give out my address. There will be a P.O. box only. Phone number. I'm going to get a burn phone for that. You know, I'm going to use a different phone for my business. So I won't have to worry about that either. So you just have to really, you have to be diligent. People that start these YouTube channels, man, take the warning, you know, learn from what I just went through. And this is why, you know, I've been, somebody accused me of being a fraud a couple days back. Won't mention names because they didn't know or understand the circumstances that I was under. So I don't hold it against them. Just know that going forward. And yes, I'll still do your project if you want me to. If you really think I'm a fraud, then you know I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you there. I know there's people that watch me all the time, but there's one person that can actually verify that I'm real. That has been to the house here. Has been here. Has been to my setup, and that's Pipe Master. Pipe Master can tell you. He's been here. And I do not use people's real names, even though that I know who he is, because I don't want their personal life being exposed to the YouTube channel. I use your fake names. That's the way I want to keep it. Your YouTube names. You know, that's what we're using. We are not going to use your real names. I just don't want anybody ever to go through what I just went through. But the trip wasn't a wasted trip. I had to go down there anyway. Just wasn't planned to go then. To help somebody with something. It only took 10 minutes. And it was in the arts. So, and, we did it real quick and went forward with it. But it was more on a decorative kind of art. I don't, like I said, I don't want to share anybody else's information either. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And this YouTube shit it is kind of scary too. But I'm not going to let anybody deter me from doing what I do. That's not going to happen. I just wanted to buy myself a little bit of time to make sure that they couldn't get any information that might have been on there. It turned out most of it was secure anyway. But I just wanted to make sure, just to be on the safe side. So that's the whole thing. So it was embarrassing, yes. And where I made my fault was I didn't actually check the location of where I was going. If I'd have just done actually all I needed to do was use Google Maps, and I would have seen that it was a bunch of bullshit. So, and I would have never went down. At least I wasn't going to go down there. Then I would have gone down at a later date to my friends. But I took advantage of it while I was there. I thought, oh, why not? Just call them up, see if they'll come get me. It was like early in the morning. It was like, oh God, by the time I got there, I stayed in the hotel. And then I called him around 8 in the morning. And he was like, what are you doing here? You know, when I told him I was here. He said, what the hell are you doing down here? I said, oh, I'll explain that when I get to your house. He says, why there? I'm like, yeah, good question. So, kind of put you right in the middle of nowhere where this so-called address was, which was really weird. Anyway, So that's what happened. No big deal. I wanted to buy myself enough time to make sure that I didn't have anything exposed on the internet. Because once I realized it was crap, bullshit, um, first thing I did was I kind of panicked a little bit because I'm like, Jesus, I don't have my computer with me. I'm down there. When I got to his house, I was able to log on and see what, see if there was any kind of activity. Nothing. Nothing was hacked. I was like, what the hell? I don't understand. What was all this about? What was the point of this? Stupid. Maybe it was just a prank. Somebody getting off on doing something stupid like that? That's really crazy. Okay, so I got pranked, but the trip wasn't wasted, which was good. And my wife was like, oh, "I'm actually glad you did it now anyway, because we don't have to go down there now when I start working. I actually start working in October, my official time, but the way things have been going, they've been bringing me in every weekend so far. So it's kind of weird. The situation is a little weird altogether. Okay, so I got to plug. I'm going to plug in my what do you call it? Unplug the phone real quick and plug in the air dryer or the heat gun, so to speak. And I'll show you what happens. See how that's nice and bright red? Watch what happens. I'm working on this one first. It's so damp out, there's no way it would dry on its own. Now I'm backed off about 12 to 14 inches away and just applying the heat on high heat. And it's drying. You see it turning darker where the blood is. Oh, that's what I forgot. I got to pull out more glossifier. Plasti dip glossifier. I like this little effect that happened here. You see how like the broke up the blood? In there, because what that did was just makes it a little bit more realistic. But after I dry this, fire on it. Now I'm working down here. Gotta get a little higher. Woo, I definitely gotta get higher. And I'm gonna put it on medium heat. I'll put it on the lower setting, heat wise. I just saw my shirt smoking. We don't want to burn the shirt. About 14 inches away. And even if it burns it a little bit, it's okay because it gives it that really nasty, bubbly look. Just adds to the effect. I'll show you guys the gloves in a minute once I dry this. Yeah, I don't need to add the black. This stuff turns dark enough. I don't need the black underneath. Turned out to be a waste. I think the brown, the two different colors I use is burnt sienna and raw sienna is dark enough. There was no need to actually put black as a wash. All right, this spot right here is still a little bright. Yeah, I only have the shirt left to do, and that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. I got the hood to do yet. The hoodie. I call it the hoodie. Yes, that basically is what happened. Yeah, so anybody that thinks that I might be not legitimate, talk to Pipe Master. He's been here. He knows what I'm doing. He's been to my house. And the only reason I gave him my address and everything is because he used to go to the local store down here. So I knew he was a real person. I wasn't afraid of him. It's the fake people out there you got to be careful of. You know, put up their fake profiles on their Facebook. They don't want to show their real identity, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't have time for people like that. I look at your Facebook and I see a bunch of crazy stuff on there. Believe me, I distance myself from you. I don't care what your political are. That's not what chases me away. What chases me away is crazy stuff, you know. You know, even if I disagree with your political stances, they're not going to make my decision on, you know, whether I do business with somebody or I don't. That's not the way I operate. But it is what it is. Yeah, see now it's got that extra depth of gnarly color. It definitely looks a lot better. Now I gotta go grab another bottle of the Plasti Dip in my room. I'll be right back so I can spray this down. And then heat gun that. And then I gotta work. I don't know, did I do the front side? No, I didn't do the front side yet. So yeah, I'll spray this down with Plasti. I did do Plasti Dip on this. And I left the bones pretty bright because I don't know, I like it like that. Maybe I'll throw a little black wash on there now that the plastic's on there and the blood's on there. Maybe I'll do a little black wash on there and let it dry on the bones, so to speak. I might just use plain acrylic and then wipe it off so it goes into the crevices. But I might use brown instead. Yeah, I might use a dark brown instead of a black. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll think about that when I do it. Let me go get my Plasti Dip because I can't move forward without it. Let me read your comments while I'm passing by the phone. Oh, boom. Oh, I'll let you take a look at the gloves too. These are done. All right, so the thumbs are tucked underneath. You can see the thumbs here. Here you go. Show you the thumbs. But there are the gloves. There are the gloves. I'll be right back. Let me read your comments. Bo Norton. Custom courses, what's up, buddy? D's balls. Holy God, I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Yeah, I just explained the whole thing to Florida. It was all fraud. It was all fake. And, it's embarrassing because, but I think, I became a target the minute that I started a YouTube channel. That's what happens when you do these YouTube channels. You get people that, watching you. You never know you don't know what you're running into. My mistake was not following. I should have checked on the location. But it wasn't a wasted trip. It was really nice. We got down there. We left at like 11:30. I forget what the flight was, like 11:30 at night. Flew down there. Got there probably like close to 2 by the time I got into the. It's a 2-hour flight, not even. Got into the hotel. Once we got in there, went to sleep. I don't sleep a lot, so I got up around 8 o'clock. We probably went to sleep by like 3. Got up at 8 o'clock, called my friend who was like literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside of where I was located. And he's like, "What are you doing here? Unannounced? You come down?" I'm like, "Well, here's what happened." And I told him once I got to his place. But yeah, so what I did was I didn't want to share this story on here right away because I wanted to make sure that I got all my computer stuff locked down. I'm even going to probably start a VPN if I can through YouTube. I don't know. I don't know whether I should or I don't know. I don't know whether I can with YouTube. But all other access to my computer stuff is like literally forget about it. You ain't getting to it. You know, and I'm also going to do a P.O. box. If somebody wants to order a mask, get a mask for me. I'm giving you the heads up. It's not going to be a fake P.O. box or any of that stuff. It's just to protect me. I don't want anybody knowing where I live. I'm going to probably change my phone number. I hate doing that, but why not? I've gone as far as I did. But that was the reason why I delayed and you guys can understand that. I hope you can understand why I delayed and why I didn't want to share that info until I had everything secured. So, because I really think it was somebody watching me on YouTube that pulled either a prank or they were actually trying to get something from me. I don't know. I still don't know. So, I'll never know. They introduced themselves to being a particular, I'm not going to bring company, I'm not going to say the company either because I've already reached out to this person to let them know that somebody is using them as a what do you call it? As well, it might have they've been following me and they know certain people that I've been in touch with. But I have reached out to them and let them know. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that because I don't want them being targeted either. He probably already has been multiple times. So anyway, yeah, that's what happens on the YouTube world, I guess. You just have to be really careful. That's all. Diligent. All right, let me go grab the Plasti Dip. Check out the gloves, man. They look really gross. They look good. And this kid's going to be in. Phew. You see the picture off right over here of. I think that's actually that's a doll. It's a picture of a what do they call them? I call them dolls, for lack of the right terminology of what it is. But the kid even owns that particular little miniature. So, this is what he wanted to be, and this is where I'm shooting for. This is what I'm looking to try and reproduce for him. So, pretty hell of a action figure. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. I don't want to offend anybody. It's crazy. What a world. What a world. Oh, my God. But I actually benefited by the trip down. So it was good. Let me go grab my Plasti Dip. I ran out. It's completely empty. Yeah, believe me, the color is right on the money. It's got that dark brown, dark, rotten flesh look, pussy look. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And this is the magic potion that I like to use. Plasti Dip Glossifier to give it an extra shine. So let's do this. Oh, I gotta get seated. Everything hurts today because of the weather. I mean, it's still drizzling out right now. I already did these. These got a little bit of a shine to them already. So no point in overdoing it. Okay. Yeah, it's completely empty. I'll tell you what, the Plasti Dip, what is nice is you really do use every drop. There's never any left over in the can. And I'm only hitting the areas that have the latex and effects, gore effects on them. I want to go over this one more time. Because I had to put a very light coat on here because I didn't have enough Plasti Dip. Now what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of acrylic in there. And I'm not going to brush over the whole thing. I'm going to make shiny spots everywhere so it gives you that really extra wet look. I'm going the extra mile for this. Not so much for the kid or not so much for me. I'm doing this for the YouTube channel to give you guys an idea of what you can do with a homemade costume. You want to spend a lot of time? You can really produce something really nice. Now I'm going to dry this. I started a video yesterday, but I put it directly on my phone, and then I was going to upload it. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather do it live. So I did the pants. The pants are done. The only thing left is the shirt and the hood. My Philadelphia Eagles won today by the skin of their teeth. I don't know what it is with this team. They just seem like they almost found a way to lose. That's what I didn't like. All right, that's dry enough to flip over. Actually, I don't need to flip over. I need to bring the sleeves down. All right, so I got to do this sleeve. Let me go up further with this. There we go. So you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right. Which I found really bizarre. My blood mix that I make, which is it's like a glue made by Liquitex. It's a high gloss, glue, basically, and food coloring. Lots of food coloring. Black and red food coloring. Very little black. And it goes on opaque. And it dries translucent along with dark. It gets very dark. So we have to go into the cracks here with this. And I'm putting a lot in the crack. I just kind of stay in the cracks, that's all. See how bright red that is? That's the one thing you can always tell instantly when you have a really good blood. It goes on really bright and then it dries really dark, which I was thinking it was going to be just the opposite, but it turned out to be perfect for what I'm doing. So I'm going to read your comments in a minute as soon as I get this dried. Then I'll start the next sleeve. So yeah, this stuff, it's embarrassing, but at the same time, I'm no high-tech wizard, so to speak, when it comes to computers. I have a guy that does all my stuff for me, as far as protection and all that stuff. He says, no, believe me, you're not getting hacked. There's nothing to hack. You don't have nothing on there. I said, well, good. That's all I care about. I mean, they can find out about you, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot of effort for nothing. But I think this whole thing was either, I'm starting to really think, because I haven't heard nothing from nobody since that trip. Might have been just a bad prank. But little do they know, they kind of helped me out more than it hurt me. Because I had to go down there anyway. I did. I had to go down there for other reasons. And it just turned out that it wasn't that far away from where I was going. So, yeah, I was biting my tongue. I wanted to say it. I wanted to say it so bad. Oh my God. At the same time, I started, well, that's going to sound really, it's embarrassing, you know. But you know what? I'm no fake. I'm no phony. I call it the way I see it. If people don't like it, oh well. I don't hide bullshit. I don't hide it. I had to protect myself. That's the only thing I wanted to do, is make sure that I didn't have any possibilities of somebody getting into my system, so to speak. I have my glasses on, so I'm kind of like just looking in spots. Couple low spots. Couple low spots. Couple of little crevices that need to be filled. Okay, let's do a little dry time. Yeah, I put it on the low heat. Get that out of the way. So how was everybody's week? I know I just explained what I've been through. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you guys are looking forward to the fall. You're looking forward to Halloween. I'm loving it. now I can get back to the sculpture. I'm gonna have to do the sculpture. I reached out to Brick in the Yard, um, and they basically told me it's not a good idea to put dental stone in the mix it with the Ultra Cal 30. Now I have seen it done, but it does change, and this is what he said. It changes the absorption of that mold quite a bit. You don't get as many pulls from that mold because the absorption. But for me, the reason why I kind of want to still do it is because that first mold I get rid of anyway. I don't, because I end up sealing it and I make a urethane master copy. And when you do the urethane master copy, you can no longer do latex masks because you've sealed that the ability of the stone mold to absorb water. You seal it. That's the difference between latex and petroleum based rubbers. Is petroleum based rubbers don't have water in them, and they don't dry based on, you know, it's a chemical reaction that allows them to dry. Now see how cool that looks? Look how gory that looks. See how nice and you can see all the depth now in the color. Now we'll use a little plastic dip. That's my empty one. Boy, I got some mess to clean up out here. On the mouth, I gotta fix that. That's gonna be another. So I'm just doing one slip. Plasti dip, the reason why I like using this stuff is because it actually is very flexible. It'll give you the flexibility that you need and the shine. There he is. My neighbor. They're doing some work over there. All right, so that's pretty shiny. It looks pretty good. The other side's got worms on it, so. So today I kind of relaxed. I watched the football game, and I had to go get my equipment this afternoon, like 11:30 this morning, and then I came home and watched the game, and basically relaxed. And now I'm out here trying to get this costume completed. We're almost there. Okay. Yep, that's dry. And now I got to do a little bit of paint work up in here. Do this upper arm. Cracks. Now that plasti dip isn't real wet looking, but it gives you enough shine to give you a little gloss. Gives me enough gloss to what I want to do for the purpose of this. Little Okay. But once you plasti dip this, that the blood is actually any thick areas will dry up. They look like giant scabs. That's what it looks like. That's the effect I'm after. Now this is an ultra realistic. No. But it's realistic enough for him. And it'll fool your eye at nighttime for sure. It looks nice and scabby, doesn't it? Now, as soon as what I want to do now is plasti dip it. A little warm for the plasti dip, but it's okay. Okay, so that's enough on there. It almost dried on contact because it was still warm from the heat gun. Yeah, that works. That's dry. That's dry. Okay. Now we got the other sleeve to do, which I'm just going to toss this over and bring this side over here. Oops. Is there anything on this side of the... No, it's all on the other side. Okay. So the only thing I have to do is this side of the sleeve. I'll do it in frames so you guys can see what I'm doing. And it's going to turn out where I put enough blood right in this container. To do this whole job. Like an idiot last night, when I rushed to go to work because I got called in at the last minute, I forgot to put the lid on the container here. But pleasantly surprised when I came home because of all the moisture and the rain that we had. It wasn't dried up. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And this is a water-based blood, this stuff here. So that explains why it didn't dry up. Backhoe back there. That's a big cat too, man. That's a nice one. That's what you're hearing in the background, guys. He's got some work being done next door. I love it. Just brings up my property value, even though the market's dead right now. I'm in no rush to sell. Not now. Not after this little future. I'll eventually get out of this state. Trying to go where there's, you get more for your taxes. You get nothing here in Jersey for your tax money. You get your trash removed, big deal. And then they're picky about that, so you got to be careful. So I really prepped this for the wash. I'm going to read your comments. As soon as I get done blow drying this heat. I'll blast this with the heat and I'll come over and I'll read the comments real quick. Answer any questions you guys have. Matter of fact, this is the bottle. This is the container that I used, that I bought. That I mixed just plain old red food coloring with a little touch of black in it. See this stuff here? All right, take a good look at that. It's called gel, super heavy gel, brilliant, and it's an acrylic medium by Latex. There you go. You can still shot that, and then if you guys want to make your own blood, see how it looks when it's mixed up with water, and it's actually just plain. All I did was take the food coloring. I get those big bottles of food coloring, so I can really. Okay, so clean my brush off. Just stab at it a little bit. Damn it, it's stuck to my hand. Okay. As soon as I dry this, I'm going to read your comments again. It's a pain in the neck. I should have a better setup. But it is what it is. I'll get better as time goes on. Maybe by the time I start doing this full time, then I'll really invest. But I don't want to over-invest in it right now. Grow the channel as it goes. I like the live better anyway. I do like doing live better than pre-recorded stuff. I don't like the editing and all that stuff, man. I have what do you call it? Adobe Premiere. So I'll be able to do a lot more. But I got to learn how to use the software. When am I going to have time for that? I don't even know. I should get somebody to do it for me. To hell with it. Do some really good professional looking videos. Oh, there are worms. I was like, what is that? Worm was dangling down. I thought it was cotton. See, I stuffed my sleeves with bags, just plastic bags. Almost. That looks good. Now I'll throw a little plastic dip on there and let that sit. And I'll let that dry on its own to see how it looks versus heat gunning it, because I think the heat gun actually takes a little of the gloss off. So let me read your comments. And I gotta plug that back in. See what happens when that, because if that plastic dip looks better without the okay, let's do this. Plus I'm gonna plug the phone back in. Hold on, let me, there's a close-up. There you go, check that out, guys. Hold on, let me just plug this in. Because my phone will die while I'm chatting with you guys. Yeah, see, that looks gnarly. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a close-up for you. Yes, it does. It looks gnarly. All right, and there's the gloves, and you can see the shine on the gloves, and that's dry. And it's got that scat look to it. Looks really good. I think this looks really good, considering it's low budget. This is a low budget job here. All right, so let me look at your comments. Trip about custom corpses. What's up? These balls, haven't seen you in a while. Really. Action figure, fall of Halloween. Ends October 15th. Hope it's better than kills. Yeah, me too, Bo. All right, so who else is on here still with me? Is that Bo with me or these balls? Yo. So,
what you think, man?
I'm just live right now doing the process. So nobody else comments. I think I'm going to jump off of here. I showed you that part. That's nothing, no big deal. Just putting the blood, little plastic dip on there, and you can see the results. Very scabby looking. Looks really gross. So the gloves turned out really good. Oh yeah. He's going to be a cool Jason. I can tell you that. I don't know if they're going to, like Angelo said, I don't think they're going to be able to allow him to go into the contest. Might be too gory for the kids. I don't know. It reminds me when I was a kid. I'll tell you a story. I had an old man's mask that I bought up on the boardwalk, and it was what was it? It was called Fun Shop, and on the fun shop, at the fun shop, they sold mainly magic tricks and gags, and they did carry Don Post masks. Well, I got this cheap old man's mask, and it was late summer when I picked it up. I think it was like the summer of 74, 75, somewhere around there. I might have been a little earlier than that. No, I think I was playing I was playing in the Pee Wee League. So I might have been about 12 or 13. So I forget what league I was in. I was playing football. And I still had the shoulder pads. So I wanted to be a sea monster, and the influence that I came up with was done by, well, it was because of watching Scooby-Doo. There was a sea monster that glowed, and that sea monster, and I'm sure you guys have seen that particular one I'm talking about. I wanted to recreate that somehow. Well, not even close, but what I did was a I took a old man's mask and we turned it inside out. All right, and then we painted it with metallic, bright green. I forget what kind of color green it was, but it was real bright, and it had a lot of big metal flakes in it. So it was really, it was a high end. It might have been a candy color. I think it was candy. I think it's exactly what it was. It was a candy, like a candy color, back in the day. All right, and the reason why I was able to get that paint in the first place was because my cousin at the time used to do custom cars, paint jobs, and he used to do them in Delaware. And they had a big shop down there, and my dad was going to paint his truck candy apple green, and we had this paint. So, and he never used it, so we had it sitting there. And we used it on that mask and the whole entire costume. But here's how I made the costume. I took one of my dad's old ratty shirts, and my dad was a big dude, and I put shoulder pads underneath, all right, from playing football. And we tie-dyed it, all different color shades of green, and then we misted it with that lime green. But really what put it over the top was we went down to the beach one day and we picked up a bunch of seaweed, and the kind that you pop, the popping kind, and we let that dry out in the sun for a couple of days. And then we bobby pinned all that pieces of seaweed all over the costume. And then we put that metallic candy apple green, candy apple, whatever. It was green. It was a candy green paint with huge metal flakes all over the costume. And it was scary. I mean, it was a scary costume. I had a werewolf feet for another costume. We put that onto the creature, so it was rubber. And I think we used long johns, and we tore up some like shredded fabric, and we pinned it or glued it. That's right, we did glue it to the pants. So it was it blended right in with the seaweed. So it was really cool looking. And we painted those shreds real dark green. I remember every detail of that costume. And it was my creation. I created the whole thing. My mom helped me. Don't get me wrong. I was only 13 years old, 12 years old, something like that. And went to school. And the kids were absolutely, and I'm not exaggerating, they were terrified of me, especially the younger ones. They were scared to death of me. They didn't want to go nowhere near me. It looked so realistic. It really did. And the creepiness was because I turned that old man's mask inside out. Now, the mask was made for a kid, so it was a kid size. It wasn't a real big mask. So we turned this mask inside out, and it just looked so deformed, twisted. And I mean, it scared the living hell out of the kids. So I won first prize with the grade school parade that they entered me in. And then we had the city parade. And I got entered into that. And won first prize on that. And that first prize was, back then, it wasn't that much. It's not that much money now, but back then, I won $25 as first prize. So you're talking 1974, 1975. $25 is equivalent to like $100 today, I guess. But I won first prize. It was just and I beat out some cool costumes too, man. Those store-bought ones. I beat out that was the year that I learned that doing it yourself definitely is way better than doing costumes and just buying a store-bought costume. If you really want to screw people's heads up and scare the living crap out of them. That was good money. Back in them days, it was good money. It was $100. Now, what I did with that money was I bought my grandfather. It went towards a violin. My grandfather was not a violin, a fiddle. My grandfather didn't have anything. He was broken. My dad said, if you really want to do something for your granddad, because he always wanted to replace the fiddle that he lost. So we bought him a fiddle. Money went towards the fiddle, and literally brought my grandfather to tears. That fiddle meant a lot to him, man. It really did. Could he play a fiddle? But that, now my grandfather died in 1985. He's been gone a long time, and he died at the age of 78. But that was the best money I ever spent, just to see my grandfather that thrilled. So it was cool. Simple story. Just figured I'd share it with you guys. And but this is how I've learned how to do my own stuff. I've also watched other guys on YouTube. Oh, yeah. So this is Jason Voorhees, Part 7. That's what this costume's going to be. Let me give you a picture of it, in case you didn't see it. That's who we're going for right here. So I even got the colors pretty close. See? See the arms? Yeah, but this is a toy. This here's a action figure. Thanks for the correction. And that thing, I thought it was bigger than it was. The kid that I'm doing this for actually has this action figure. That thing's only that tall. The action figure is really small. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was expecting to see something that might have been 6 to 8 inches tall. But man, this thing was tiny. High definition, The costume looks pretty good. The rest of it's pretty much done. And I even have it semi-wet looking. So it looks like it's coming right out of a swamp. Yeah, if you look at those arms, look how good that looks. And look how close the color is. This is a little brighter because it's a picture. But, yeah. We've nailed it close enough, so to speak. So let me put you back on the stand. I'm holding you. I'm just waiting for everybody to comment. There's only one person on it. It's only showing me one person watching the video right now, and that's Bo. Thank you, Bo, for sticking with me. So, but it's Sunday and everybody's got things to do. I get it. Trust me. And I'm on here pretty late. So now I'm plugged back in. Now I'm going to flip these sleeves over. Actually, I'm going to flip the whole thing over. Let me flip this whole thing over, and we're going to work on the front and get this painted. And guess what? That's still not dry. Okay, so I'm going to hit the heat gun on that again. Well, no, I'm not. No, I better hit the heat gun on that. That means I got to disconnect the phone again. Yeah, that just putting that blood there definitely stepped up the look. Definitely gave it a better look. Okay, so I got to unplug this again. Plug the heat gun in. That'll do it. Now I'm just going to flip the shirt over because the front part is done. Now we got to do the back part. What the hell is that? Leave that off to the side. Leave this off to the side. Wait a minute. I'm going to put that somewhere where it's not going to touch something. We don't want to touch nothing on. Come on. Okay. Now this side's got the bones in it too. The chest plate. So we got to do the upper arms. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Slide it up, and then do the arm sleeves. And why is all that cotton? Okay. Guess it just stuck to the worm. Yeah, man. It's getting there. Almost done. Now we just gotta...
More blood.
More blood. All right, let's do the work first. This one's out of my way. I'm just filling in the deeper areas.
When that rain stopped.
Oh man, that rain was something. I like the way this dries. When it dries, it gives it that rotten flesh, dark blood.
Yeah.
It definitely gives it the right look.
Like you just got cut, but at the same time.
Well, it looks fresh blood now, but then when it dries, it
No, I'm
turns
saying
to,
you're dry. It dries on the side. When blood
Looks like a
dries on your
scab.
skin, yeah.
looks like a scab. That's what I was after. It's exactly what I was after. I just didn't think it was going to turn out like that, though. But sometimes the best results are
The ones you're not
by
trying
accident.
for. Yeah.
All by accident. I'm glad I didn't use the theater blood because the theater blood would not dry that color.
Nope. Would have stayed this color.
It would have stayed the same color. And now I know how I'm going to make my zombie blood. It's going to be like this. And once you seal it, you don't have any problems.
Man, this kid's gonna see this. He'll be like, "Holy smokes!"
Oh, this kid's going to scare the crap out of all these kids. And if he doesn't win first prize with this, I don't think he can win. The fix is in, baby. As they say. You know, and I won, like I was just explaining to them about how I won first prize with an original costume sea monster costume. Now, I think what really took it over the top was the fact that I turned that mask inside out, that old man's mask, and it just totally gave it this like, oh my god, it was the scariest looking thing you ever want to see. And it taught me a lesson with the store-bought mask. You invert those things, man. They look creepier inverted than they do. They look a lot creepier inverted than they do with, I'm just going to do it. I keep seeing this one little shadow and I'm going to fill it. Need that little spot there. And we'll keep going and get all these areas done.
It's like you're painting a model.
Well, I'm definitely trying to stay close to the bone to give it that darkness around the bone area itself. And when it dries,
That's good.
it's getting there. It's you know, it's a kid's costume. It's not supposed to be screen accurate or any of that. We're not aiming for that. We're just trying to. This is all done cheaply. This is not an expensive build. This is not one of these. I actually think that the funny thing is, costumes like this could sell for $400 or $500. You know,
Easy. Easy.
You know, it's just that, you know, you do have to spend some time on it. The reason why I'm really doing this costume so elaborately and taking my time with it, which I'm not really spending a lot of time, it's just that I'm doing it in bits and pieces. I'm not working at it steady. And you know, it's for the channel, you know, for people, content. You know, you're always looking for new content. And so I figure why not? And it gives you guys, anybody that wants to make their own Jason, they can. And remember, don't go by how many YouTube videos I have doing this. I think it's like, I'm up to like part 8 or part 9 with this right now. It's just that I took my time. I didn't really rush this. And kind of not rushing back to doing my, what do you call it? My mold. Yeah, because that damn mold breaking constantly has got me a little nervous. You know, just trying to get it done. And then I don't want to have to retool it again. I don't care what. I mean, my goal isn't to actually get a mask out this year anyway.
You see this antenna?
I will in a minute, as soon as I get offline here. I'm kind of facing backwards here. I saw you working on it. I didn't see what you did.
Yeah, you fucking pouring rain.
You could have waited an extra hour or two.
I already talked to Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy, this kind of stuff. It really is. Yeah, so anybody that tells you can't make something really, really nice looking and do it on the fly, they've never done something. They don't know what they're talking about. You can make some really. You just have to know how. That's all, and that's what this video is for. So you can show you guys how it's done. It's not real hard. God, if I had the knowledge I have now, and made that costume back in the '70s, oh my God, I would. Plus, we didn't have the, even the fake blood was horrible. It was like red paint. It didn't, but I didn't use any blood in that costume. That costume was all metallic. Candy colors with different stains and different shades of green. Just touching these areas that have this, any kind of white showing. Now these have a couple worms on them, so I want to make sure that I hit the worms real good. Because we want the worms bloody. So that's stuck, okay. Bloodworms. When this dries, it almost gives it a brownish look. It's not real bright. It's not red, like real bright red or anything. And that's actually better. Just adds that extra depth to it. It's crazy. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas. And I hate that because the kids are grown. Christmas isn't what it used to be for me. You know, I really loved Christmas. I did. My mother loved it. She's passed away now. You guys, especially you young parents, cherish it, man, because it doesn't last forever. If you're not parents yet, enjoy that time because it's really fun when your kids have that. There's a magic in the air. It's just so awesome. Halloween became my new favorite thing in the world because at least I can do things with. I can do things with Christmas too. I was thinking about doing a scary Christmas. But I don't know, man. I just not sure about that. Some people don't like it. They frown on it if you do it. Not me. I don't frown on anything. I'm not real religious, but I'm not against religion either. Well, I am actually. I'm not for religion. Let me explain. Being a Christian, I'm not really a holy roller Christian or anything. I don't like preach or any of that stuff. That's not what I'm doing here. I think whatever you want to believe is fine with me. However you want to live your life is fine with me, as long as it doesn't interfere with my life. That's all I care about. If it doesn't interfere with me, hey man, more power to you. So enjoy the time that you have with your kids. Because it goes so fast, it really does. My kids are now 30 years old, almost 30. And boy, I used to have a ball with them. Oh man. And I've always been into Halloween, don't get me wrong. But Christmas was, oh wow, I just knocked my glove off. Okay, I have to get that fixed too. Alright, so let's do this section over here. Wait a minute. Did I miss that? Yeah, I did miss. Hold my crackers here. Things to do on this side of the. Back to blow drying, not blow drying, but heat gunning. Do one section at a time. Then I'll plug the phone back in. I'll read your comments. If any of that bubbles up, it'll actually add to the effect. That's okay. Get a little burn action too. That'll add to the effect. Done with that sleeve. Done with that one. Onto the sleeve, and I just have to do the sleeves on the lower part of the sleeve. Now first I got a plasti dip. And the other thing I want to do too, real quick, is unplug this. And plug this back in so the phone don't die on me. There we go. So let's do a plasti dip on this first. Let me make sure these worms aren't sticking where they're not supposed to be. It's right in the middle. I want it nice and shiny, right where the stuff's at. Now I can start this sleeve. Yeah, I can start that. Get these fuzzies off of here. It must have hit this cotton. That's what it did. It rubbed up against. These worms hit that cotton. Tell me I didn't knock that over too. Oh no, there it is. I thought I knocked over my blood. Like, oh no. Corpsing. We are corpsing right now. Look at all the dimension that added to that there. That looks really good. The depth is, that added depth is so cool. I'm just gonna go up the worm a little bit. In your lower areas, that's where you want that dark blood, darker color. You want the surface to be. Now you see how it's done. Now I could have done a black wash on this, but I didn't. Once I seen the color, how it changed the blood, I knew I didn't need to do it. But that's this blood. Now, there's other blood. Theater blood won't do this. Won't turn real dark. It'll turn dark, darker than the bright red, but not quite as dark as this. I don't know if it was just my mix. I don't know, but it turned out really awesome. Okay. Actually, I'll do this sleeve here. I'm not sure where I'm. I'm in the mood for watching Jason movie, I think. Maybe a Friday the 13th. Which one do I want to watch? Which one? You guys pick one of those. I mean, I've done Halloween too many times. I need to take a break from Halloween. I've been looking at the still shots and remind you, I'm a big fan of it, but man, I've been oversaturated with Halloween for months. So, well, I'm in the mood for a Jason movie tonight for some reason. It'd be pretty cool. Do I think Jason is a better killer than Michael? Nope. I'll never get that vote from me. I just think the acting's better in the Halloween franchises. There's a lot. There's a lot to it. But there's a clever hokiness about the Jason movies that I do like though too. So it's not. They're not bad movies. That's not what I'm saying. But they are, without Michael, Jason never would have been born. Not, I don't think, as a slasher film, I don't think he would have ever existed. So, but I like the fact that he's not human. Starts out human, but he's not. And it's kind of like the Michael thing. I still think Michael's still not human. That's why I like the original Halloween 2. The original now, 1981 original. The reason why I like that so much is because Dick Warlock, he played that part so perfectly. And maybe not to his knowledge, I don't know. He was very robotic motions, very slow, like a zombie, and at that point you already knew he couldn't have been human, taking 6 slugs to the chest and knifed in the eye, and something wasn't right, that's for sure. He definitely was not human. At that point. And that's what made it work. I think, anyway. So. I think it made it work. Just going the extra mile, letting that phone charge just a few more minutes. That's why I'm doing the extra careful things here. Trying to make it so I can. Touching up the worms. Okay. Heat gun. I gotta unplug this again. Now I'll do the plasti dip and the heat gun to this. Quite get enough on this side. Hold on. Okay. Still got the hoodie to do. I noticed something with this shirt. Stuck together right there. Hopefully that comes apart. Well, it'll be tighter on them, that's all. All right, let's do the other sleeve. What's that?
It's raining again.
Do me a favor.
What?
I dropped my glove right, the other glove right back down here. I
What?
had my grabber. The glove right behind that bucket. All right, thank you. It fell off. All right, so now we just got to do some plastic dip on the sleeves.
Where's your deal?
That's the full one. Plastic dip on the sleeves. I'm going to read your comments. And I'm going to do the same process to the hood. But I still have to do some other things to the hood before I can do the hood. That's why I'm done for the day after this. I want better weather, and it's getting dark already. It's getting darker. It's getting hard to see for me. It's hard for me to see out here now. All right, we'll do one more blast of the heat gun. Try the plastic dip, and then this thing is done. The only thing I got left to do is the hood. Blood on the hood and the teeth. I got to do the teeth. I'm going to use the. I wonder if it'll stick though. That's what I'm worried about. This caulking here. I wonder if that'll stick, because that's silicone. Will it stick on the latex? No, it's probably not. May have to use latex after all, but I gotta come up with some kind of way to do it. Man, it looks awesome. I actually like the way this looks a lot. That's dry. Okay. That's done. So now I'm taking this paper bag out of there. I hope that fold doesn't stay. I hope that's, it's stuff all over my hands. Take this paper bag out of here. Take this trash bag out of here. Maybe. Oh, I see what happened. Interesting. The plastic melded to the back of the shirt. I was heat gunning it. There we go. Thing is still kind of heavy. So this is it. This is the costume. Here's the back of the shirt. The sleeves. That's the front of the sleeves with the worms. This is the front. And where you're seeing all the bones and everything, the outer outfit is all torn and shredded, so you can see all this, but you won't see the black outfit. All right, the only thing I've left to do is the hood, and then the Jason mask, the plastic part, and that's it. And then we're done. I'm not going to film the hood. The only thing I had to do with the hood was exactly what I did here. Although I will do the teeth area. I think I got to experiment with this stuff to see if it'll stick to the. And there's the gloves. Everything matches just right. This color is the best, I'm going to say the best, like rotten flesh color you can have. And that's raw sienna and burnt sienna, the two combinations. That's this color. And this color. Raw sienna and burnt sienna is the mix. And then of course the blood. And then the natural latex actually turns like a bright red. So there you go. There you go. Any comments? Let's check you out. Hold on, sorry. It's so funny, it's so much darker. The camera looks really bright and it's really dark out here. I mean, my lights are all lit. Man, that just still looks really bright compared to what it actually is out here. It's like, phew. Anyway, let's see what you guys got to say here. All right. All right. When working with monster clay, here we go. I love it. Questions. I love questions. That's great. Money. When working with monster clay on an ed head, can you keep adding clay different days? Yeah, monster clay is a wax-based clay. You never have to worry about it drying out. It doesn't dry out, so my thing is that clay that's been on that head that has been molded several times so far is probably almost 2 years old. The clay that's on there, but that's monster clay. If you go with water based, you can't do that. Water based only lasts so long. So, what else we got? When working with monster, okay, we did that. No, well, the other thing about monster clay, let me address this. I like using the hard monster clay. There's there's three different mediums. You have soft, medium, and hard. When you use hard, you can, you'll save most of your sculpture. You'll have to redo the ears, you'll have to redo the nose, and it also depends on how much detail is in the sculpture. But when you're doing a two-part mold, which I never do a one-part mold with the monster head, on the armature. You never do that with the monster clay main sculpture because you'll never get that head out of the mold. So never do a one-part mold. It has to be a two-part or three-part mold. Do not do a one-part mold over a monster clay main sculpture that's on the armature, on an ed head or any armature for that matter. What happens is there's too many locks. You'll never get that ed head out of there. You'll never get it out. Never. So do a two-part mold, and I like using hard because when I demold the ed head with the sculpt with the clay sculpture in there, as long as it's released properly, you'll salvage 90% of that main sculpture. You'll have to retool it to bring it back to life, but you'll save your main sculpture. Using a soft or a medium clay, I don't think that you can save a lot. I think it really tears up the main sculpture when you take it apart. Using the hard is definitely a better way to go for me, anyway. Some people like doing medium. Most don't like the soft. Most people do use medium or hard. If you're going to use soft, then I would recommend just doing it out of a wet clay, which is a water-based clay. And don't get much softer than that. That's really soft, that stuff. And but once you demold it, it pretty much ruins the sculpture. So there's no need for an ed head either for when you're doing a wet clay sculpture. You can put that on any armature, and still have the same problem. It'll get destroyed. So the other thing too, the ed head is designed, especially ed head 2.0. It's designed to fill up with hot water. So if you ever want to take that clay off of the ed head after you're done with that, like if you completely want to remove the clay from the ed head, you fill the ed head up with really hot water. All right, and that will release the wax-based clay off of the ed head, and you can take it off with no problem. Wet clay, all you're going to do is dry it out. So wet clay or water-based clay on an ed head is kind of waste of money. You don't need an Ed head for that. I would only buy an Ed head if you're using monster clay or a wax-based clay, so to speak, oil-based or wax-based. I'm not a big fan of the oil-based. There are different types of oil bases. Some will actually accidentally call something oil-based when it's really not. It's either wax or oil, and some are, I think, a combination of both. But oil-based clays are, I don't know, they still harden a little bit. I don't trust oil-based as much. I like a wax-based clay, and that's monster clay. It's just a really nice clay. Now, answer some more questions. I covered that pretty thoroughly. All right. Bo Norton, Friday the 13th, 1, 3, 4, and 5. 5 I'm going to have to check out. I never liked 1. I hate to say it. I never liked 1. I didn't like that it was the mother that did the killing. It was such a downer at the end of that movie. For me, I don't know. It's better to have the mom. I guess all right, let me be fair. At the time, it was cool. All right. But when they finally made Jason come to life in that series, 1 is not one that I reach for ever. I never would reach for 1 again. I've seen it twice, maybe 3 times, and I just can't find myself reaching for that movie because I didn't like it. 2, it was Jason, but it was, I don't know, just kind of hokey. 3, I don't remember. 4, I don't remember. And 5, I don't remember. 7, I watched because of this costume. I had to make this costume. So I rewatched 7. Now, 7, I think the storyline was a little weak. Which part, I want to ask you guys, maybe you can tell me this, Bo Norton. Which one was it that, for some reason, I like this version, and I can't remember which part it was, where they were in a trail, they were in a mobile, like an RV, and the RV got flipped up on its side, and something to do with a spear going through Jason, and it brought him back to life. I can't remember how that happened. I just know an RV flipped on its side, and it caught fire, I think. And Jason, whatever part that movie was in, that one I really liked that movie. For some odd reason, I liked that one. Which part was that? I think that's the one I want to watch tonight if I can find out what part it was. I just remember an RV being flipped up on its side. That was a cool Jason one. Jason Takes Manhattan. That one there, I'm not crazy about, and the reason why I don't like it, it spends way too much time on the water, in the boat. Spoiler alert. Yeah, but that's the part, I just didn't like that whole thing on the boat. It was just so drug out. When they said Takes Manhattan, you were thinking a lot of the movie was going to be, done in Manhattan. And very little was actually shot in Manhattan. It was very little. But it was a long movie, too. That was a pretty long. I think I just watched that not too long ago, too. Jason Takes Manhattan. I love Kane Hodder. I think he was the best, hands down, best Jason ever. I don't know which ones he was in as much. I know he was. I think he was part 7. I think he was part 8. I just wish he was like the guy throughout all of them, because from 2 on, man, if Kane Hodder was the guy, he really made that character authentic. I think he just gave it such a unique flavor to it. But then again, that's my opinion. So O. Norton. Okay, great. Now I know which one I'm watching tonight. Part 6, Jason Lives. Okay, let's go on to the next question. What's your favorite movies to watch for the Halloween season besides Halloween? Man, I have so many. I love a lot of B movies. I'm not a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Believe it or not, there's something, I don't know, there's just something about that movie that just so demented that I don't like disturbing, demented movies. I like far-fetched stuff. I do like monster movies. I like werewolves. I like scarecrows. So anything with a scarecrow or a werewolf, Jeepers Creepers. I love that series. I don't like my monsters too realistic. I don't want I don't want a psycho killer. Now, what separates Jason from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a true story. All right. How much of it's true, I don't know, but it's sick. It's a sick, demented story. And it's like one of those things where I'm just not into that. I don't want to pay homage to a real serial killer. Michael Myers is not real, although he was brought out to look like, be a real person. But in the end, I don't think he is. I don't think he's a real, can't be. Nobody gets stabbed, shot 6 times, 7 times, actually, if you count the shots in Halloween 1. Or was it Halloween 2 when they did the replay of it? I forget. But anyway, it just made it so unreal. It's at that point you knew he wasn't human. What the driving force is, nobody knows. But I can, instead of trying to pick out my favorite movies, I can only tell you what I like because I like all the. I'll tell you one of my favorite werewolf movies is Cursed with Christina Ricci and God, now I can't think of the kid's name. Her brother who played the brother part. Oh man, he was awesome. He's a good actor. That kid. He's a really good actor. He's not a kid anymore, I'm sure, but it's just such an offbeatness to him. He's such a unique personality. I loved him, and I loved him in what movie was that he was in with all the magicians? I forget what the hell that was called, but that was a really good movie. Anyway, you see, Cursed. I like that as a werewolf movie. I I like Stephen King's Silver Bullet because of the actors that were in it. But I didn't like the werewolf. It looked like an oversized bear. It didn't look like a werewolf. It looked like a bear. So The Howling, of course, was like great, great werewolf movie. Let's see. I'm not into Frankenstein. Frankenstein just never really did anything for me. It just the whole concept. I never cared for that. Let's see. Dracula movies. Let's look at like vampire movies, not Dracula movies. Not a real big Dracula fan. Christopher Lee and all that back in those days, they were good for their time. But watching those movies now, man, they're so slow. I like John Carpenter's, what was it? Vampire? I liked that movie. That was great. Dusk Till Dawn was great. There was another one I was thinking of, and I couldn't remember what. I lost my train of thought with that one. Hold on. It was a senior moment. Oh, I love Salem's Lot, the original, 1979. Great movie. I can't wait to see this new release of it. Just because that movie, I mean, although it was so good, the guy that played the vampire. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He was so good in that. Didn't like Interview with a Vampire. I'm like, you know what? I don't care about what a vampire. I mean, that was supposed to be based on Dracula, an Interview with a Vampire. And no. I just want to see my vampires go out there and rip some heads off. You know what I mean? I want to see the real deal. I want to see action too with the I like my horror movies with a little action, a little darkness to them, a little scare, a little creepiness. It's got to have all the elements though. It's got to have it's got the suspense is huge for me. If a movie doesn't know how to be suspenseful and it just gets right to the cut and chase, so to speak, not into it. Just doesn't do anything for me. I'm not into gore, although I'm doing this kind of stuff. I'm not into gore. Gore is kind of pointless if the story sucks. That's what Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it was based on a true story, and because it was real. I don't want to. No, I'm not going to support something that literally pays homage to a real serial killer, and that was twisted, man. The story needs. I think the story needed to be told. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something I enjoy. I'm not going to fault anybody for following it or loving it or anything like that. I'm not bashing the movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing the movie. It's just not my kind of thing, though. That's all. So I hate it when people start getting into this, you know, so-called pissing match, where, oh, Jason's better than Michael and Michael's better than Jason and all that crazy stuff. Look, you know what? They all have their elements of really coolness. And they all have their elements of like, what the hell were they thinking? So it's just, they all have their. I'm happy to have them all. I like the original Freddy Krueger. He was pretty cool. The original, I think it just got too hokey and stupid. Doing multiple. I don't know. It just lost its scariness once you knew that all this stuff was taking place in the dreams and that part of it. And when I say scary, it's scary. I'm not. I never get scared with any movie. I really don't. I just like that little creepiness once in a while, though. That little like, ooh, that's creepy. You know what I mean? And it could be just the atmosphere. It could be the way they did the lighting, and it could be all these little things, these elements. That tells me the difference between a good, like somebody that knows how to make a movie. Horror movies and scary movies, you always look for lighting, low and high angle, weird angled shots from the camera. That's important. Three, yeah, after Lost Boys, yes, that's another great one. Love that vampire movie. I love the offbeatness about that movie. Uh, the Lost Boys. Oh, such a great. And once again, Corey Haim. I liked that kid. He was younger. He was younger than me, but he was a good actor. He was a really good actor. He just had a really. He was another one of these, and so did the other Corey Feldman. He was good. They were just a really good team. It's a shame what Hollywood did to those kids. I believe that. I believe that that's true of what went on with them. And I think it also messed up Corey Haim beyond belief, and probably one of the reasons why he's not here with us anymore. So, Hollywood's a dark place in real life. Let's see, what else? What other movies? I definitely loved the original Salem's Lot. I'm a big fan of David Soul, who played Ben Ben, oh, can't think of the last name, but he was the blonde hair guy with the glasses, and who came into town to write the story. He used to be Hutch in the original Starsky and Hutch TV series that I used to watch as a kid. That, and I used to watch a show called Beretta with Robert Blake. That was another great show that nobody knows about today because he got blacklisted. So none of his shows are available. But that was a great show. Beretta was. And yeah, so let me think of more. B movies. Let me think. There's so many. I just know what I like. I mean, you can take all these movies, and if they have the elements that I like, believe it or not, I like some of the newer ones I liked. Some people don't like this; they hated it. But believe it or not, I liked Blair Witch. That was kind of queer. It was kind of weird. It was creepy, in its way. It had a creepiness to it. Do I think it's a great movie? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not putting it on my top playlist. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. And I think what it is if you're a city person, you've been in the city your whole life, and you've never really been out in the woods, all right, you're not going to like that movie compared to somebody that's been in those woods. And I've been out in the woods a lot in my life. And there's always that creepiness, that you always feel like you always have eyes on you. You really do, whether it be an animal, you feel like you're being stalked at all times. So there's always that element of the unknown. And if you've never been out in the woods, especially at nighttime, where you're disconnected from the world and you're not really alone out there, and you've got a lot of, whether you're in bear country or you're lion, you can have leopards or lions or whatever, wherever you're at, that's the element. Yes. Oh yeah, it had people thinking it was real, and that was I guess that was the element that that gave it a coolness to it. It was cool. It was unique. It was the first of its kind, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That gave it a creepiness to it too, because you were looking at old footage, so to speak, and it was just handheld camera footage. But it was unique. It was nice. It was nicely done. Let me think. Come on, man. I'm just drawing a. Did you guys ever see the original April Fool's Day? That's a pretty good one. It's a B movie now. Don't you guys want to look up first found footage? Yes, that was. I think that was the very first of its kind. Have you ever seen? I like. Was it Scanners? No. What was it called? The Exorcist. Let's talk about that. That movie, as a kid, scared the living crap out of me, man. I mean, scared me to death. Back in the 70s is when all that satanic stuff kind of came out. There was a lot of like satanic movies. The Exorcist was the first of its kind in that genre. And then soon to follow that was a movie called Beyond the Door. And that, man, the commercial on that used to freak me out as a kid. Beyond the Door, the commercial. Look up that commercial on YouTube for Beyond the Door and watch that commercial. Yes, reboot of what? Which one? Reboot. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my back door here. You guys are just looking at my back door. That's funny. Yeah, there's all kinds of like cool There's so many great movies out there, man. And there's some older movies that were really creepy. But look up on YouTube the commercial for Beyond the Door. It'll make you want to see the movie. If you like The Exorcist, you'll like that one. A little slow for this day and age. Got to remember, back in those days, part of the creepiness to the movies were a lot more character driven. They build up the suspense and then kind of give you the suspense, give you what you've been waiting for towards the end of the movie. They never kind of just jump right into, giving, it's all build up, build up, build up. That's how things were done back then. I'll give you another high speed movie that was really good. I'm going old school for you guys, to give you an idea of what you want to check out for creepiness. And I'm going to give you two movies right now that you guys should look up. You might want to write these down. Race with the Devil, starring, he just died a couple years ago. Come on, Peter Fonda, and Swit. I can't remember her name now. Swit. She played MASH. She was the old TV show MASH. She was one of the nurses. Anyway, let me see. Race with the Devil, 1975. That's a really good movie. Also, believe it or not, this one's called The Devil's Reign. All right. And that one stars William Shatner. And in this movie, it's real important for you guys that are Michael Myers fans to watch this. In this movie is where they show William Shatner with no eyes. And I don't know whether that was partially the thought of John Carpenter, or was it truly all by accident when they made the William Shatner eyeless, no eyes in the mask and featureless face. But William Shatner in that movie has no eyes in the end, towards the end of the movie, and you'll have to check that out, and then you'll get a really good idea of maybe somebody's thought process had to have crossed that movie and thought, yeah, you know what? Let's cut the eye holes out on this Captain Kirk mask and see if this works. But The Devil's Reign, 1975, starring William Shatner. The Devil's Reign, that's another one to look up. Those two movies we used to sneak on HBO. At the time, they used to call it Home Box Office. Well, that's actually what HBO stands for that. The HBO stands for Home Box Office. All right, and that's what they called it back in the day. And when the parents weren't home, if they went out for dinner or whatever, man, we knew the secret on how to turn that HBO on and off. They used to have this little thing on the back that kept kids from watching the HBO because there was a lot of nudity and all that stuff back in those days. You didn't see that stuff. So man, we knew how to make it work, and we got the HBO working. And they were the two movies I always used to watch on there all the time. Every time they went out, I would look for those two movies: Race with the Devil and The Devil's Reign. We're talking mid-'70s, early '70s. Back when I was like 13, 12, 11 years old, whatever, however old I was. But good stuff. Let me see, what other movies? Yeah, The Exorcist was classic, man. Oh, that's right. I did see that. The Exorcist is being rebooted. It's going to be tough to beat that movie. It really, really is. You know what it is? I think the only thing that they can improve on that movie was the pace of it. It was just a little too slow. When you watch the original Exorcist now, man, and it drags. It just takes too long. I think that's what it is. That's what's the difference between today's movies and yesteryears is the pace. Where you can only create so many monsters. You can only create so many scary things. And that's why I think the slower paced movies don't work anymore because been there, done that, you know what I mean? So it's almost like you want more gratification now. Paranormal Activity. I like those movies. I do like those movies. Some people bust on them all the time. I think they're pretty creepy. They got a creepiness to them. Paranormal Activity. That they're good. I like all the ones I've seen so far. I think I've seen at least 3 or 4 of them. So, but I like the Paranormal Activities. They don't seem to get old. Let's see, what else? Whew. God, man. Linda Blair, who played the little girl in The Exorcist. I'm trying to remember the movie she did. Oh man, I can't think of the title. The Entity was creepy too. Yeah, it was. That was. I think William Shatner in that one? I can't remember. That's one I haven't seen that in years, but I do remember the title Entity, and I remember it being good. And there was another movie when I was a kid that creeped me out big time, and it was some like creature or something that was locked up in the upstairs attic, and it was behind a red door. That's all I can remember from that movie. And the door was painted red, and the kids were told never to go up there, never go near that door. And turned out something was living inside beyond that door. That was a creepy movie. That was really creepy. And there was an old black and white movie that was really scary that involved 2 young kids back in the 60s, late 50s or early 60s. I can't remember the name of it. But I guess, I don't know if it was the mother or the grandmother. She was really she was sick, psycho. And she was creepy. Oh, man, what the hell was her name? She was a great actress, too. She's long gone by now. She's dead. She's been dead a long time. But she had a very raspy voice. Oh, man, I can't think of her name. And she was she had a unique way of speaking. And a raspy voice. And she was creepy in that movie. And it was a single mother. I think it was a single mother, and the kids were left there. I forget. But let me get off of here, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching the videos and or the live stream, so to speak, the video. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the tutorial on how to on the Jason Part 7 costume. So I got to jump off here. Somebody's looking through the window over there, and they were kind of like flagging me, like, "Oh, when are you going to get back?" I might have to go to the store. So I'm going to jump off of here before things close. It's Sunday. All right, guys. Peace. Thanks a lot. And remember, hit the like, and definitely catch me on the next one. I'm going to start working on the knife and the Jason hockey mask. That'll be the next video. Or not the knife, the machete. The plastic machete. That'll be next. All right, guys. Peace. I'll see you on the next video. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe. Also, the like button, notification bell. When you're a subscriber, sometimes you're not getting notified. You might have to unsubscribe and resubscribe because sometimes, I don't know, things get messed up and it don't work. So that's usually what fixes it. If you're not getting your notifications from my videos or when I come on, the trick is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and that'll fix the problem 99% of the time. So peace, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you in Bo Norton. Have a good day, and thanks for watching. And that was cool. Good talk with the horror movies. Love it. All right, see ya.